Warriors Nation, you might want to brace yourselves. Because in this video, we're going to dive into a storyline that's been quietly brewing behind the scenes, and it's not pretty. While the rest of the Western Conference is getting stronger, deeper, and more dangerous, Golden State has stayed surprisingly still. And that silence? It's not strategic. It's a symptom of confusion, hesitation, and possibly, a franchise stuck between eras. So if you're tired of waiting, frustrated by the lack of answers, or just want to understand where this team is heading, you're in the right place. Don't forget, if you love Warriors content like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any updates as the offseason unfolds. Let's talk about what's really going on with the Golden State Warriors, and why the future could be more uncertain than it's been in a decade. The Golden State Warriors are standing at a crossroads, and for the first time in years, the direction forward isn't clear. While other Western Conference teams like the Thunder, Mavericks, and Timberwolves are making calculated moves to solidify their title aspirations, the Warriors have remained mostly inactive. And for a franchise built on movement, both literally and philosophically, that stagnation is louder than any trade announcement. The truth is, Golden State enters this critical stretch with only 9 players under contract, and 2 of them are on two-way deals. That's not just risky, that's irresponsible for a team trying to compete over an 82-game grind. Depth isn't a luxury in the NBA anymore. It's a requirement. And the Warriors, right now, are short on both quantity and quality. The major reason for the holdup? One name, Jonathan Kuminga. Once seen as the bridge to the next generation, Kuminga now represents a fracture between what the front office hoped for and what's actually possible. Internally, his situation has put the franchise on pause. No serious moves are being finalized because the Warriors don't know how to value him, nor how to keep him. Kuminga reportedly believes he's worth over $30 million per year, pointing to comparisons with players like Jalen Green. But the market doesn't see it that way. Most insiders peg his real value around $20 million, especially when you consider that his development in Golden State has been inconsistent at best. The friction goes deeper than dollars. This is about trust, opportunity, and timing. The truth is, the Warriors missed their window. Back in January 2024, Kuminga's value was peaking. He was playing high-level basketball, and yet, he was benched in a critical moment by Steve Kerr. His response wasn't quiet, he voiced his frustrations, and that public outburst fractured the already fragile relationship with the coaching staff. Analysts agree, that was the time to move him. But Golden State hesitated, trying to preserve the illusion that he could still be part of their two-timeline dream. And that dream is exactly what's unraveling now. The Warriors' decision to straddle two timelines, trying to develop young talent while contending for titles, has aged poorly. Kuminga, unlike Jalen Green or Tyrese Maxey, never got the space to make mistakes and learn from them. He was constantly measured against the win-now expectations of a veteran locker room. And while he showed flashes of brilliance, the pressure cooker environment stunted his growth. Now, both sides are stuck. A short-term deal, say 1 year at $20 million, doesn't really benefit anyone. The team wouldn't have the incentive to feature him, and Kuminga would be playing with one eye on the stat sheet and the other on his next contract. That's not a foundation for growth. That's a recipe for resentment. So what happens next? Behind the scenes, the front office is exploring sign-and-trade options. The Sacramento Kings have emerged as a potential partner, with Keon Ellis seen as a target. Ellis isn't flashy, but he's the kind of underrated 3-and-D guard who makes winning plays, defending elite scorers, spacing the floor, and thriving without needing touches. He's also cost-controlled, a crucial factor for a team tiptoeing around the second apron. Other suitors, like the Phoenix Suns, have surfaced, but their assets don't fit as cleanly. Golden State doesn't need more ball-dominant wings or injury-prone stars. They need perimeter defenders who can shoot, handle the ball in a pinch, and complement Steph, Draymond, and Jimmy Butler, if the team does eventually land that type of big-name reinforcement. And that's where names like Al Horford and DeAnthony Melton come into play. Both are rumored to be interested in joining Golden State, but the signings are complicated. The team is walking a tightrope with the CBA, finalizing either deal too early could hardcap them and risk losing flexibility in a potential Kuminga sign-and trade. Timing, in this case, is everything. Adding Horford would be a game-changer. His presence would allow 48 minutes of elite playmaking between him and Draymond Green. That could be the key to unlocking the Warriors' defensive identity again, something they lost last year. And just as important, it would reduce the load on the core veterans, potentially keeping them fresher for a playoff run. Still, the Warriors need more than savvy vets. They need length on the wings, switchable forwards in the 6 feet 8 inches to 6 feet 10 inches range, and guys who can knock down open shots. The roster can't just be smart. It has to be athletic, durable, and hungry. Right now, too much depends on a 36-year-old Steph Curry playing like he's 26, and that's not sustainable. There is still one potential twist left in this story. If the Warriors can somehow negotiate a team-friendly deal with Kuminga, something short-term, incentive-based, it's possible he becomes a mid-season trade asset. By January, other teams may have more flexibility and a clearer picture of their needs. Kuminga's youth, he just turned 22, still gives him immense appeal, especially to rebuilding franchises or those looking for an injection of raw athleticism. But make no mistake, this is damage control. The front office misjudged the two timelines planned from the beginning. They overestimated their ability to mold young talent like Kuminga within the demanding structure of a championship contender. They underestimated how fast the league would evolve, and how quickly the West would catch up. Now, they're paying the price. Steph Curry's prime is being wasted on indecision. Draymond is aging. Klay is gone. And the locker room knows time is running out. What happens this offseason, and specifically with Kuminga, will define the next 5 years of Warriors basketball. If they nail it, there's still a window for another run. But if they fumble it, they risk squandering the end of an era, and worse, entering a rebuild without a real plan. So Warriors fans, stay locked in. This is no longer about luxury tax lines or draft picks. This is about identity. About pride. About doing right by a core that gave everything, and making sure the next chapter is worthy of the legacy they built. And if you're feeling that same urgency, leave your thoughts in the comments. What would you do with Kuminga? Would you trade him now, or roll the dice on a short-term deal? And which veterans do you think would best fit this roster? Smash that like button if you're tired of the silence and want to see action. And subscribe so you never miss a moment, because the Golden State Warriors are approaching a breaking point, and what happens next will either revive a dynasty or close the book on it for good. And here's the key takeaway from the channel: delve into financial education to enhance your quality of life. Within the financial market, explore bonds and shares, particularly focusing on real estate investment trusts, which offer the potential for passive income. Engage with this responsibly and consider reputable investment brokerages worldwide.